Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today we're taking a really incredible, mythic journey straight into the heart of human existence. We're going to confront a reality that, well, let's be honest, most of us run away from, our own mortality. But we're also going to discover how looking right at it is actually the ultimate key to unlocking a life of urgent, joyful purpose, drawing on some amazing insights from Thomas Alethea's 12 Steps to a Good Life. So, let's get right to it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Listen to these heavy words from the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. Do not act as if you had 10,000 years to throw away. Death stands at your elbow. Wow. I mean, those words just plunge us straight into the stark reality of our situation, don't they? We just kind of move through our days assuming there's always going to be a tomorrow. We put off our biggest dreams. We delay necessary apologies. We even just tolerate our own misery, all because we're under this massive delusion that we possess an endless supply of time. But we don't. The clock is ticking. And the sooner we actually accept that, the sooner we can actually begin to live.
Section 1. The Perennial Struggle, or A Life Lived in Denial.
To really understand the power of waking up to our mortality, we first have to take a hard look at the ordinary world we all start out in. Think about that quiet desperation, that underlying tension that just constantly hums beneath the surface of a life lived in denial. It's this enduring inner conflict between who we truly are and who we pretend to be. So what do? We chase distractions, we chase accomplishments, temporary highs, basically anything to fill a void that literally cannot be filled by ignoring reality. You might even recognize some of these symptoms in your own life. You find yourself repeating the exact same destructive patterns or stumbling into the same reoccurring struggles over and over again. You carry around this deep-seated frustration and heavy inner conflict. There's this vague existential emptiness, right? Like a feeling that something is just missing, even when everything looks completely fine from the outside. That creates a paralyzing fear of change, and so you default to avoidance and numbing. You distract yourself with work or screens or bad habits just to escape the discomfort of your own mind. That is the heavy, heavy cost of avoiding reality.
And this brings us to a truly profound contrast. The psychiatrist M. Scott Peck noted that emotional sickness is avoiding reality at any cost. But emotional health? Well, emotional health is facing reality at any cost. That is the threshold we have to cross, right there. The discomfort you feel when you finally stop numbing yourself, that isn't a sign that something is wrong. Actually, it's a sign that you're finally waking up. It is the friction of facing reality. And the absolute ultimate reality we must face is our own temporal limit.
Section 2. Confronting the inevitable and diving into the abyss of time.
And this brilliantly illustrates our place in the universe. We are now guiding ourselves downward into the terrible phase of this initiation, if you will. We have to confront the inevitable. We have to look deep into the abyss of time and just recognize our incredibly brief place within it. So let's zoom out, way, way out. Just look at the awe-inspiring scale of this universe. 3.4 billion years ago, life on Earth began. Over the billions of years that followed, trillions of beings, every single microbe, every animal, every human who ever walked the face of the planet, lived out their entire lives and died. And now, we reach the present moment. You are here, you are alive, you are this brief, impossibly beautiful spark of consciousness floating in a great unknown. And then comes the inevitable future. You will die. Now, putting your life into this massive cosmic perspective isn't meant to make you feel insignificant or small. It is meant to shake you awake to the absolute miracle that you get to experience this brief spark right now.
Which brings us to the absolute core philosophy of our explainer today, Memento Mori. It's a Latin phrase, and it translates to, remember that you must die. Now, I know society often frames the contemplation of death as super morbid or depressing, right? But true philosophy reframes it completely. Memento Mori is not some dark, gothic fascination with the end. It is a striking, powerful catalyst for the present. It's a practice intended to completely eliminate wasting the gift of life, because by fully and completely accepting the transience of your existence, you completely destroy the illusion that you have any time to waste.
Section 3. The Practice of Memento Mori, or Living Urgently.
So what does this actually look like? How do we take this majestic, totally overwhelming concept and turn it into immediate, actionable change in our daily lives? Well, we move from theory to living urgently. Here are 3 highly actionable steps straight from the text to integrate Memento Mori into your life today. First, put your personal affairs in order. And hey, this isn't just for the elderly. Getting your life insurance, your will, and all your affairs organized is a physical, incredibly grounded reminder of your mortality. Second, practice mindful breathing. Your breath is literally the bridge between being and non-being. It's the total foundation of spiritual practice. And third, stop delaying what must be done. Seriously, if you want to achieve something, or forgive someone, or totally change your path, you absolutely must do it now. The meantime, it's a total myth.
Here is a beautiful, mindful breathing mantra you can use every single day. Life is impermanent. Death is certain. I will not delay what must be done. Just let the heavy weight of those words hang in the air for a second. Really feel the clarity that comes from that absolute certainty.
Section 4. Your hero's journey and the path of epictasis.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how coming out of that realization marks a total turning point. We're shifting into the return phase of your own personal hero's journey here. You've looked into the abyss, you've accepted your mortality, and now you return to the world totally transformed. This complete shattering of our standard perception of the end is what the source text calls epicstasis. Listen to this. Consider a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. We see this as a wondrous change, but the caterpillar would more likely think of it in terms of dying. I love that. Epicstasis is the idea that existence is an unceasing evolution. It reframes death not as this grim, dark finality, but as a beautiful, continuous transformation. When you view life and death as an infinite spectrum of growth like that, it just inspires so much hope, humility, and a really deep appreciation for the infinite in the world around you.
So, when you return from confronting your mortality, you emerge into the light of a life lived with urgent, joyful purpose. You return with wisdom. You now accept the impermanence of all things, which actually, surprisingly, reduces your suffering. You find profound meaning in the present moment, because you know, for a fact, it's all you truly have. You release your resentments, and you forgive the past, realizing that carrying around those heavy burdens is a complete waste of your precious time. You align your actions with your values, and ultimately, you embrace true freedom and joy. And that, right there, is the reward of the journey.
Section 5. Embracing a good life and the gift of today.
So, what should you take away from this explainer right now as you step back into your normal daily existence? How do you actually embrace a good life starting this very minute? Well, it all comes down to a few simple truths of being. They're super simple, yet they literally change everything. First, you and only you are responsible for your life. The past, it's entirely irretrievable. It only exists as memories now. The future, it doesn't even exist. It is only an expectation. Therefore, you can only act right now. Your life is constructed of moments, and you trade every single moment for something, whether that's anger, love, distraction, or pure joy. A good life is not something you buy, and it's definitely not something you just randomly stumble upon. It is built choice by choice in the present moment.
And beneath all the struggle, beneath the fear of the unknown, and beneath the ticking clock of mortality we've been talking about, the source text leaves us with this incredible ultimate realization. You are loved, and all is well. This is an unconditional assurance from the universe. No matter how chaotic things might seem in your life right now, no matter how brief our little spark of life may be, this deep foundational peace is always there. It's waiting for you if you just quiet the noise and listen.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer, and really to the only question that truly matters. When you wake up each and every day, you are given an infinitely precious gift. It is a one-time occurrence in all of forever. You will absolutely never get this specific day back. So I leave you with this. How will you spend your one irreplaceable day? Step into your beautiful reality. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next explainer.